Good afternoon, Tony Dattino, doing my live with Tony on Friday. Another week has flown by. I am the founder of the USA Memory Championship and constantly doing reading and researching and working with people. And I have just found this issue of mind, mood, and memory, November 2023, just with one particular article alone, just loaded with really good thoughts. Everyday activities. How do you take everyday activities like breathing, like thinking, and how do you give yourself memory and thinking boost from activities that you can engage in just without during your day? And the point I loved about the article is it was saying is that, look, just as we integrate things that we do within our daily lives and they become innate and they just become who we are and when we are, we should be thinking the same way about things that we can do that impact our memories and our thinking skills. Here's the point. We should be thinking of it as a holistic approach, supporting brain function through whichever activities you choose has far-reaching benefits. Now here's the key point. Rather than thinking about brain health as a factor in its isolation, meaning, okay, I'm going to work on brain health right now, I'm going to work on heart health later, I'm going to work on nutritional things on Monday, on lunch and dinner. What she's saying is, I think rather than thinking about brain health as a factor in isolation, a helpful way to think about your brain health is a part of your overall health and well-being, linked to other daily and lifestyle wellness behaviors. So a lot of research is coming out about the importance of heart health and its impact on brain health and its impact on heart health, because they're connected. Our heart is oxygen, while our brain is using a quarter of our oxygen. So how do you think of them in different compartments? It's one body. You're a holistic system. I think of it as what I call systemic thinking, meaning your whole body is connected. So what are we doing that impacts our heart, that's impacting our oxygen that we utilize in our brain? She adds, so the research adds, that it is demonstrating that multiple areas of physical health are closely linked to brain health. So when you step back and think of physical health, what we think of immediately is physical health. How well are we breathing? How well are our muscles working? And we think of, the word is exercise. A tremendous amount of research has come out on exercise in three flavors. One is the aerobic. How well are we breathing and taking in a higher grade fuel of oxygen into our bodies, which then impacts what? Our heart health. Second, research is coming out about the importance of maintaining muscles, and as we get older, what happens to our muscles, et cetera, and how do we impact our muscles, and what are we doing? 5-pound dumbbells and just doing some curls, and doing some curls with those. Doing things that are working on our legs, our quads. What are we doing for our calves? What do we do for our abs and our stomachs? So what are we doing for some of our muscle groups? Because some of the research is suggesting that when our brain sees that our muscles are consistently being worked out, the body wants to keep going. So it's fantastic that we now have this article. I thought this article was just fantastic. So let's go. So things you do for heart health. How about your sleep? Research is showing that during our sleep, we're cleaning out toxins. We're purifying a lot of the toxins that we've taken in that are inside of our brain, and they're helping to purify, what's going on during our sleep hours. But we got to get to those deep hours of sleep. How about nutrition? What do we do with our nutritional habits? How much is now being discovered about nutrition and what we eat, and the fats and the proteins and the carbs, and what we should be doing, and what its impact is as it breaks down and goes into our brain health. So she talks about here, or it's a she, in this article, your heart health, your sleep, nutrition, and physical activities. Emotional health and well-being are closely linked to brain health as well, specifically managing stress. We talk about that in our 6 key factors of brain health. These are all the things that we cover in our online course of 6 key factors of brain health. Just coming back into this one little article. It's just got these 2 little pages of halves to it. It's just loaded with stuff. If we understood enough how to take this particular article and break it down and integrate it into daily activities. So as the author writes here, daily activities that impact your heart. What are you doing in terms of your eating, your nutritional, your sleeping, all of it, your exercise impacting your heart? What are you doing with your sleeping patterns? So what's happening with your sleep, and are you getting the right sleep and rest? What foods are we eating? What are you doing physical activities of some sort? But then she brings in the importance of emotional health and how do we deal with stresses in our life. And that stress may be with our family, it may be with our own health issues, it may be with work associates, it may be with things you watch and hear on television or the radio or you read in the newspapers. So what are we doing to build resilience in our lives as we are stressed with certain things that cause our adrenaline or our cortisol? Cortisol that floods, right? We find that cortisol is our fight or flight resistant hormones. Well, what do we do with our cortisol? Maintain a level that what they've discovered is the longer you keep your cortisol at a higher level, the more damage it does to your overall immune systems and your body's functions. Oh my goodness, closely linked to brain health, management of depression. My goodness, how about, God, I feel down and I'm blue today and I just need to pick it up. I need to figure out how do I get a picker-upper? What can I listen to? What can I read? What can bring me back? Meditation, we've been talking a lot about meditation. Management of depression, and what about social connectiveness? How much they're now discovering that isolation and loneliness is a major factor, and feeling alone and not feeling connected to anyone else, not feeling that you're part of something that's really important in a bigger picture, in a bigger scope of things. So social connectiveness, and how do we reach out and stay in touch with people we care about, making new friends. So we do an exercise called, mystery guest. In one of the sessions we do mystery guest. We have a person that we ask to come in and we ask people to talk to them and ask them questions about that. And we build the skill of how do you get people to have a friendly dialogue and make friends with people they may never have stopped to think about talking with before or ever being a part of. So social connectedness. And then having a feeling and a sense of purpose. What do I get up for every day? What's my goal? What can I do to make a difference in the world today? How do I avoid these things? So what the point of the article is when we do things, be it sleep, exercise, heart or blood pressure medications, connecting with friends and families, we're supporting our brain health. And how do we integrate those activities as we integrate those activities into our daily life, everyday activities or tasks? Do we understand the impact that they're all having on our mental health as well as our physical and our heart health and as well as our overall being? And can we not just make that all just one systemic way of not thinking, well, I'll work on my brain today and I'll work on my heart tomorrow and I'll work on my sleep next week? How do we integrate these activities so they all become part of a systemic flow of activities that we perform every day that have multiple benefits and not just to one part of our holistic body? There's one last piece of this. I didn't think, it's hard for me to see that so the heading, everyday activities that can boost your memory and thinking skills and give them a big boost. How do we do that? And how do we bring that to people so we can all benefit by what research and science is suggesting to us today? And hard to believe, I want to do one last part on this. This has got to be one of the best, and this is only one article in the whole issue of the newsletter for the month of November. I'll do a third part of this particular issue next Monday. So till then, it's football weekend again. Your college and pro teams, may you all do well. Walk away with success. Though as long as you're not playing the Giants, I'll be happy to root for you. And we shall see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.